Hello everyone, welcome back to Transformation Tuesday. Tonight's episode is all about how do you increase your self-worth so you can charge more for your services. This is a question I get asked by a lot of my clients, by a lot of the entrepreneurs and business owners that I work with, by people in business, people in careers, everyone across the board. This is something that affects everyone. And what you get paid, your income, your wealth, it plays far too much of a role in our modern day society for us to not pay attention to it. So tonight's episode I'm going to share with you, how do you elevate your sense of worthiness such that you feel like you can charge more, so that you can feel justified and have a sense of certainty in what you're charging, so that you know in your heart that what you're offering is worth what you're charging plus more. That's tonight's conversation. Welcome Matt, Dave, Barbara, good to have you guys here. The reason why this conversation matters is if we want to be remunerated or paid what we are worth, what we want to get paid, we need to have a level of certainty and confidence in what we're offering. There's a couple of components here. We need to have a sense of self-belief in ourselves. We need to have a degree of confidence in what we're offering. We need to have a level of competency to back that up. But fundamentally, our sense of worthiness, it's just a concept that is made up. It's just a concept that's made up. And I'd love to know from you guys if you've ever thought before that maybe you might have started a new job, or you've been given an opportunity, and maybe you thought you were overpaid. I know when I first started out working, my first job out of university, I was getting paid a lot of money as an engineer. And I thought, gee, this is great. I kind of don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm getting paid some really good dollars. I hope I don't get caught out. I hope I don't get found out. There's a concept that we call imposter syndrome, which is feeling like an imposter, feeling like we are getting paid or remunerated or valued well and truly above what we feel our genuine competency is. And that was me. And it oscillates between feeling like you're out of your depth and that you're definitely getting overpaid versus you're being underpaid and you're being undervalued. But there's sometimes an incongruency there, because you know intellectually that you have skills and competency and knowledge and experience well beyond maybe what you're getting paid. But for some reason you lack a sense of certainty or lack a sense of confidence to actually demand that you get paid that. Or when you walk into your boss's office and you want to ask for a pay rise, even though you kind of know that you're worth more, maybe when you actually go to make that request, there's a bit of a tickle in your throat. Maybe there's a bit of a pause or a bit of a hesitancy to really stand behind your value. So you may or may not be able to relate to some of those examples, but either way, us reminding ourselves of the value that we can offer in the marketplace, this is one of the most important things that's going to determine how much we get paid. Whether we're aware of that, whether we appreciate the value, these are all variables that very much go into contributing to what we actually end up getting paid, what we earn. So I got asked by a client who is a coach, and we had a conversation around what he should be charging. And anyway, he's been gradually progressively putting up his charge out rate for a while. And the conversation I reminded him of, or that we had, was that the value, and this is an example of a coach, but insert whatever your occupation is, so whatever your job or your business is, you just insert whatever you do in here in place of coaching, is as a coach, we need to be very, very aware of the impact that we're making on someone. We need to be very, very aware of what is the benefit that we're providing our clients or our customers with. And when you actually look at it, the benefits that we provide for every industry, for every person, is immense. And I'll give you some examples. As a coach, we're helping someone tap into and access the infinite part of themselves, the most magnificent, creative, empowered, beautiful, inspiring part of themselves, so they can live their best life ever. How do you put a price on that? It's very difficult to put a price on liberating someone from the invisible handcuffs in their mind and the invisible handbrakes that they've got in their life, preventing them from living their most expansive, inspired life ever. How do you put a price on being able to equip someone with the tools and the knowledge to be able to go out and live a magnificent life? You just can't. You can't put a price on it. When I say you can't, you can put a price on it, but it's priceless. It's so special, it's so magnificent, you can't put a price on it. So I had this conversation with my client, and I reminded him that even if you only make a small impact in someone's life, when I say small in the coaching industry, a small impact is perhaps liberating someone from a relationship, helping them liberate themselves from their own mind, which is trapping them in a relationship that's not serving. Or they might be in a career that they don't enjoy. They might be trapped in a lifestyle that they feel like they can't get out of. And then to give someone one insight or one advantage or one benefit, or elevate their consciousness by just a fraction of a percent, by just a little smidgen, that has the ability to radically transform their life and give them access to choices and experiences that they could never have dreamed of. So why am I sharing that with you? Well, your ability to impact someone, and this is an example of a coach, your ability to impact someone on that level, that's priceless. Now, it doesn't matter whether we're talking about coaching or whether you're an accountant, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a carpenter, whether you're a builder, whether you're a nurse. It doesn't matter what you're offering. Your impact on someone else's life is profound. It just is profound. And it doesn't matter what it is. You might be a farmer. Look at food. Food sustains people's lives. Food keeps people alive. You might look at a bag of rice. A bag of rice might be like a couple of dollars. Well, that bag of rice is worth a hell of a lot more than a couple of dollars because it sustains someone's life. It keeps someone alive. It can feed a family. And so the market value that we place on something, the dollar value that we charge for it, is always going to be less than the value that it actually provides. Why? Because there's just a market equilibrium. There's just a series of market forces that go together to determine what people eventually end up paying. And a large percentage of that is to do with just their perception of the value, of how much they value it. But the point here is that if you truly deeply reflect on the impact that you make on someone's life, and if you actually track that and look at the trajectory and look at the impact and the benefits, it's immeasurable. You can never measure it. It's actually priceless. And you might think this is kind of like a bit of a game. Well, it is a game. It is a game. This game is just like gratitude. You could look at your life and you could be grateful for everything in your life and you could value it and think it's amazing. Or you could look at it with resentment and think it's not enough, it's no good, you should have had more. It's just a perspective. It's just a thought process. And in that moment, just like when you can either be grateful or not grateful, you can either have place a value on your services and an incredibly high value on your services, or not. Now, this is not necessarily inflating something more than what it actually is. This is actually pursuing the principle of truth, which is actually looking at what is that impact. And you can now look at it through a lens of what is the impact. And I know for me personally, regardless of whatever I'm charging my clients, I know that the impact that I can make on a client's life is profound. Like, I can help someone connect with their soul's purpose, the reason why they're here in life. I can help someone create a business that is helping them pursue their life's work, to earn revenue, to earn money, to support their family, to be liberated, to find the partner of their dreams. I can empower someone to experience all of that. And all of those things, they're priceless. They really are priceless. Now, I don't say that to gloat or to brag. I'm just like, that's just the reality that we live in, is to be able to help someone experience something like that. What a gift. But it doesn't matter whether you're a coach or an accountant or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, it's the same message. You're actually truly tapping into the gift that you're offering the person who's receiving your service. So this is just perspective. Now, if you haven't gone through and looked at your offering and looked at your service, looked at your career, looked at your business, and really asked that deep question, how am I impacting the lives of my clients? And really gone searching for and feeling into what that impact is, well, you will place no value on it. You'll place maybe no value or a very limited value on what you offer. And you'll perhaps overlook the impact that you can make. Now, this is less about the skills and the competency that you have, and this is more about impact. So I would say when we start to look at impact, that's how we can elevate our value more so than anything else, because we start to look at what are the consequences, what are the great gifts that I can offer the economy, people, how can I transform someone else's life? And the more that we can transform or the more someone's life, or the more benefit we can provide, well, the greater value we will get rewarded for that. And so this now comes down to value. When we're thinking about earning more money, money is just simply a representation of value. It's a measure of the value that's exchanged in the economy. So if we want to have more money, well, we need to offer more value, which means we need to start by valuing ourselves. If we don't value ourselves, well, we can never stand behind the value that we're offering, because we'll just have a level of weakness, and we won't actually truly value our own impact that we can make. So I would say a starting point is, if we don't value ourselves, well, we are never going to have a sense of confidence and certainty in standing behind the price that we want to be charging. So that's the first thing. So to make this practical, I recommend that you look at your business or your service, your career, whatever you're talking about, and you ask yourself, what is the impact that you make? What is the benefit that your service or business provides? Deeply look into that and feel into that on every dimension, on every level. Does it save someone time? Does it save them money? Does it make their life easier? Does it add value to their life? Does it enrich their life? Does it add convenience? Does it reduce stress? Does it improve their joy, their happiness? Does it create greater connections with their family? Do they wake up every day inspired and alive and really looking forward to their day because of what you contribute? So when you really go looking for those aspects and attributes of what you create, you're going to find that the value that you offer is so much more and so much greater than you ever anticipated. And that's the space to operate at, because since doing this process, what I've realized is everything that I offer in terms of my services, I grossly undercharge. But I'm actually kind of happy with that, because I know that the value of the service that I provide is in the millions, if not billions of dollars of what I can offer someone in terms of expanding their consciousness. Now, you might say, Chris, how have you arrived at that number? Well, for me, with the service that I offer, I measure the impact in terms of if I can expand someone's consciousness, if I can give someone an expanded range of choice, if I can help someone tune in and get connected with the expression of their soul and help them live that expression in a business or a career or a relationship, well, that's worth billions. Like, that really is worth a lot. And so from that point of view, I'm radically undercharging. I'm not charging what I'm worth, which might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with charging a lot less than what I'm worth, because I know that I'm adding incredible amounts of value. Now, people might not appreciate that value. People might not see it. They might realize it maybe when they're on their deathbed, and they might look back and go, wow, that impact that Chris made on my life was profound, because I met the partner of my dreams, or I started my dream business, and I escaped the job that was sucking the life out of me, etc., etc. People will see the value on whatever level they see it. But as long as we see the value, then we will stand behind what we do with a level of certainty and confidence that supersedes whatever they think, whatever someone else thinks, whatever the market thinks. And so for me, I stand behind my service because I know the impact. I know it internally. I feel it. I know the impact because I've experienced it in my own life. And so I don't need the validation of anyone else or anything else or anyone else to say that it's valuable, because I know it's valuable. I know it's valuable, and I place a value on it. So that's all that matters. So I can stand behind it, and I know that I'm always undercharging by quite a few $1 million. And I'm okay with that, because I would rather undercharge and add more value, knowing that at the end of my life, I've given more than I've received. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. And so this is just challenging the paradigm and challenging the perception of the amount of value that we have to add, because when we stand behind our value, well, it's very, very easy to be confident about what we're doing. Now, this isn't about undercharging. This is about you starting to value what you do more so than anything else. And then the price that you charge doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. You can start pushing the pricing up, and you feel congruent because you know that it's valuable. You know it's valuable. And for me, my pricing is going to be progressively moving up. And I will be very, very easy with my pricing going because I know the value that it has. Now, not everyone will see the value. That's okay. Just because someone doesn't see your value, just because someone isn't willing to pay the market rate or what you're charging or what you're wanting to get paid, that doesn't mean you're not worth it. That just means that in that moment that person didn't see the value. But someone else will come along and they will see the value. But it starts with you backing yourself and you feeling into the value that you're offering so that you can stand in front of what you do with certainty and confidence and pride, knowing, like truly knowing what you offer is valuable. Now, if you're having trouble valuing what you do, if you're in a situation where you're doubting your ability, you're doubting yourself, you're not quite sure if what you offer is valuable, well, that's a great contemplation. That's the place where you need to look. If you lack certainty, if you lack confidence, if you lack a sense of, is what I do, is it even valuable? Are people even going to value this? Well, you've got to realize that if you're doubting your own value, how do you ever expect to be able to congruently communicate that value in a conversation? How do you ever expect to actually authentically stand in front of someone and say, yeah, this is what I charge, this is what I want, this is what I'm worth, and that's that. So if you have trouble articulating and feeling into this, great. This means this conversation that we're having tonight, this is where the work needs to be done. It's you arriving in a place of valuing you and what you do, not based on what anyone else says about it, not needing validation or justification from other sources outside of you, other than you deciding that that's what you feel it's worth. Now, yes, we live in a market economy, so yes, we might feel it's worth, our service is worth $1 billion. Is the market willing to pay that? Maybe not. That's okay. As long as we know it's worth $1 billion, we know that it's worth a lot, it's priceless, it's incredibly valued. Whether or not we end up charging that, whether or not society or the economy recognizes that, that's okay. We don't have to judge ourselves because the price that we're charging in the market rate is less than what it's worth. I think that's okay. As I said, for me, I know that the service I offer is worth millions, if not billions of dollars. But I'm okay with charging less than that because I know that I'm adding massive value. So from this launch pad, we're able to be more confident. We're able to have more certainty in what we do. And this is simply an exploration of why is what I do valuable? How does it add value? What are the benefits of what I do? And if I didn't offer this value, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing, what would be the consequence of this to this person? And how would it penalize them? How would their life be worse off? And this is where, yes, it's a game, it's a construct. This whole thing is made up. Worthiness is made up. I'm going to encourage you to make up worthiness in your favor so that it supports you and helps you, kind of just like gratitude. You can wake up and you can feel grateful for your life and feel amazing and happy for whatever you've got. Just like a homeless person might wake up in the morning and feel grateful that they're alive. They might not have a house, but they might be grateful to have shelter. They could be more grateful and more joyful than a billionaire. So this concept of gratitude is made up, but it makes you feel good. Well, it's the same with worthiness. Worthiness is a concept that's made up, but it makes us feel worthy. And so lean into this concept, lean into this exploration to deepen your sense of worthiness by asking those types of questions. Once you've done that, you now have a solid grounding and a foundation for standing behind what you charge. And it doesn't matter what you charge then, because you know that you're drastically undercharging. You know that if what you offer is priceless, then everything you charge under that priceless, whether it be $100 an hour or $500 an hour or $1,000 an hour or $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, whatever your pricing is, it now becomes irrelevant because you know that the value that you're offering is so far beyond that it's not even coming into question if you should be charging at least what you're charging. And so now this becomes more of a contemplation around, well, is the market going to respond to that? Is the market going to pay that? But at least once you've taken care of the foundational element of, yes, what you do is valuable, far beyond the value that anyone can even witness or experience or see inside that, well, you've now ticked that box of knowing, well, yes, I'm definitely worth that. Now it simply becomes a market pricing mechanism. Now this simply becomes a deeper exploration of, well, what are they willing to pay? That's a whole nother conversation. But today's conversation really is standing behind your value, realizing the impact that you create, and really starting to see the impact that goes beyond the physical, the emotional, the spiritual impact that you're making on someone else's life. Whether you're saving someone time, saving them effort, improving their health, improving their livelihood, take a look at that benefit. And when you deepen that appreciation for that, just like when you do work on being more grateful for life, when you are placing a greater level of value on you, your self-worth automatically skyrockets, and you can start to stand behind everything you're doing, knowing that what you offer and what you're contributing is so much greater than anyone, than what most people would even be aware of. And I think that's okay. It's okay that not everyone witnesses the greatness and the impact that we can make for them. That's okay. I think there's a nice element of being humble there, in terms of, look, I can make an impact. They might not notice that. They might not even recognize that. But I'm okay with that because I know the value. And that doesn't mean that we're any more special than I'm not more special than you. We're all special. We're all making an impact in a different way. And as soon as we appreciate that internal value, well, there's confidence, there's congruency, and there's a degree of certainty behind, in the energy behind what we are representing. And that's what it comes down to. It's the energy and the certainty and the congruency behind what we represent. And importantly, why we do what we do. So that's a bit of an exploration around worthiness, self-worth, and how that correlates into being able to feel more comfortable and confident charging what you're worth. This is something that comes up for everyone. It's something that will come up for everyone as you go through whatever journey you're on, either in business or in a career. You will naturally be putting your prices up throughout the course of your life, generally. Not always, but generally, as you start to make more and more impact, you are naturally going to gravitate more towards putting your pricing up to be rewarded more, because why? Well, generally as a function of time, the amount of impact and value that we can add in the marketplace is going to go up. It has to go up. Now, it doesn't necessarily always go up in terms of what we are working in terms of that industry. However, as a rule of thumb, as the years roll on, as you get wiser, as your skills and competence and knowledge and experience increases, well, yeah, the impact you can make is probably exponentially going up. I know for me, certainly my ability as a coach has been going up exponentially since I began this journey, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. So there's a one-way roller coaster, a one-way trajectory of improving value when we're working on ourselves, when we're developing ourselves, and when we're seeing the value. Importantly, seeing the value, because there's a lot of people that don't see the value in what they do. They don't value it. They just think, what I do is just a job. Well, if you see what you're doing as just a job and not looking at the impact, you will place no value on what you do. You will probably feel like you're overpaid. You will probably feel disenchanted. You probably won't feel connected with what you're doing. Yeah, cheers, Alison. So this contemplation is something I recommend everyone does, and the best way to do this is to get yourself a blank page, and at the top of the page, write this. What is the value that I can add? What is the value or the benefit that I can add to my clients, or to my organization, or to my business? What is the value I can truly add in spiritual, mental, physical, emotional terms? How can I save time, energy, health, improve the quality of someone else's life, give someone back more choice, more freedom, experiences that money can't really buy? We've got to ask these questions and really start by journaling into this and reflecting on this and really deepening your appreciation for what is the value that you can add. What is another way of saying that is what is the impact that you can add? What is the impact you can make? And deeply feel into those answers. The deeper you feel into that answer, the more deeply you will have a sense of certainty and confidence behind all of this, behind how you communicate, you'll have a spring in your step. Your spine will be straighter, your head will be up, because you know in your heart, what I do is valuable. So that's, in a nutshell, that's how you can really simplistically but powerfully really elevate your level of worthiness in the context of life and business. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys again next Tuesday. Happy Transformation Tuesday. Enjoy, and as always, please send through any questions, insights, comments, and I'm happy to answer these for you guys during the week. Thanks again. As always, much love. See you guys soon. Bye for now.